So right here is where I'm gonna put a gazebo. Now you could obviously do this from scratch. I have done it, but this time I'm going to go a slightly easier route and use a kit. This is the Sunjoy 11 by 13 feet gazebo, and what's nice about this is that you get this in boxes and all the wood is cut, all the things are prepared. All you do is to put together this giant puzzle. Instructions. Screws, lots of wood, lots of metal. Previously we had like a fabric gazebo here, which felt temporary right off the bat. It was nice, but when we had snow kind of comes down on the roof. So for this time I really wanted metal. I wanted a metal roof and I wanted wooden posts. My goal for the structure is really to gain more outdoor livable space where we can sit and eat, and also put a table on so you could use it, you know, to work on, maybe to finish something, you have that shade. And then occasionally also to park our riding lawnmower under here to protect it from bad weather. Posts for the corners, 6 by 6. So this is cedar, it's very light. And there are some holes drilled on this piece, but they're all associated to the top. So pieces for the top. Let's start with attaching the plate on the bottom. Here's the plate that gets connected to the ground. So this is the cap that will cover this. So I just want to make sure I actually put this on beforehand, because later on you won't be able to put it on. I wanted to mention right off the bat that I have a really good discount code for this and all of the Sunjoy products. If you use the code Darbin Orvar at checkout, you get 13% off of any of their products, gazebos, outdoor furniture, that kind of thing. So we have 2 longer pieces and 2 shorter pieces. So a screw goes on the outside, and on the inside here we have the capture nut. So the outside is where the long side of the miter is. Now there's no other indication for this, and then this is kind of like a half lap right here. These on the inside and these screws on the outside. Now in the instruction there are no measurements on the wood, there's no labels on the wood either. So by putting these together, putting the 2 shorter pieces together and then putting the 2 longer pieces together, we get the 11 by 13 foot pieces, which are not actually turning out to be exactly 11 by 13 foot. You wouldn't want to utilize this in terms of preparing your base for that number. The hardware here comes labeled where how many pieces are in each, and here they're actually like H8, H1, and this is referred to in the instructions. And we already have screw holes created, so pieces here are actually doubled up. Then we have a mitered piece here, a flat piece here. Approximation of what it's going to be like, we got the length here of piece. We've got legs. So the post here on the top here, we have a large hole and a small hole and a large hole here. So I have to line this up correctly, because then the other side is going to go in too, so they're going to kind of alternate. And we got the post, 2 posts. I'm gonna brace it against the 2x4 so it's up. Of course, this is temporary, nothing is secure, this may not be the final position, but going to assemble it like this. Okay, got both of these units up, braces on top. We have 2 pieces of wood left, right? 1 for each side. And we have our skeleton, right? Our frame. Make sure we get the right side. Yeah, actually that's the wrong side. Since you have the mitered corners on the sides here, it's pretty easy to see. Will lap up nicely. Now the holes are alternating. This one's up high and this one is down low. So the miters are lining up there. Now obviously it's nice to have 2 people doing this. So I'm feeling the top here, making sure it is flushed while securing the second part. So we got, the whole frame is connected and we have braces on everything too. So 2x4 is certainly handy to have around, give you another pair of hands, basically more support. So if you consider we started this after lunch and now it's basically time for dinner. I took a little break in between, so a couple hours, you know, an afternoon basically, to get to this point. This is the hardware that's going to connect the roof to the posts. This one's going up here, so this is what the metal will connect to. On the top of the post here, these fit perfectly into, so it just kind of fits into place, and then this will be the roof. The other thing, initially, I was thinking about pouring concrete and bolting these posts down. Now I'm kind of thinking, I'm not sure if that is necessary. This kit comes with like spikes you put into the ground. I was even thinking how there are, I have a couple stumps here that I could even drill into and connect this to. If the diagonals are equal, then we are square. So 174, 172. Now the distance between these and these are the same. Now the thing that I'm debating about whether to do anything about is that it's not completely level. It's going down a little bit. I'm not sure if it's enough to really make that much of a difference. Yeah. These corner brackets here, so they're half lapped on this side, half lapped on this side. Just have to make sure I use the right one on the right side. Some bolts. And this wraps on the outside of the post. I kind of like how they overlap. Like one goes on the inside, one goes on the outside. It certainly is nice how the holes for these, like the holes for everything is determined already, so you don't have to do any measuring or like lining things up right. I mean, there's a decent amount of parts for the roof. They're all packaged in plastic. So I'm gonna unwrap them and figure out what's what. We have a big bag of these, which I assume is what we're primarily going to attach the metal frame with. Little bolts with a washer attached. Now you could just obviously use a ratchet for this, number 10. I'm just gonna put it on my drill and speed things along a little bit. Corner brackets will just, of course, the angle here. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, which part to do first, right? So we have first one. Getting that up was a little tricky. Definitely need 2 people for that. So basically, I got 1 in each right now. So I'm gonna go back and make sure everything is straightened. Like this. Okay, that's really nice and sturdy. It's kind of nice for each piece you put in, the whole thing just stiffens up a lot. Okay, so this is what the connection on top here looks like. So it must be going this way, right? This section right here, I think, was probably the trickiest one to get in, to get everything to line up just right. And using a wrench instead of the drill, because some of the angles were kind of hard. And we got a hook. I guess you can hang a lamp from it or something. So the very first pieces that go on like the roofing panels are these. So these are kind of plastic. Okay, so now we're gonna cap these seams here. Today is the day to finish this. Now we just have some of the roofing panels left to do some of the support, and then it will be done. Yeah, kind of fun. Let's get going. This is like the capping piece. So That's what we're gonna do right now. We'll secure like the other pieces. Nice view from up here. Hi, Darwin. The thing I'm really liking about this metal roof, if you compare it to a fabric roof gazebo, is that snow will just glide right off and rain will just fall off. Nothing will gather and bunch at the top that will affect the structure of the roof. So I think this will be much easier to maintain throughout the year in different weather. I really like the design that's created with the support pieces underneath and then the panels on top. It looks really nice from inside the gazebo as well as from the outside. I mean, it looks very professional. It looks like something you would see if you went to a nice park, right? I'm attaching these, which I don't know. Maybe it's like for mosquito nets or something. I'm not quite sure. There are these rods. You can definitely tell though at this point that this whole structure is getting quite heavy. Like in the beginning I was like, oh, this is really light, but then, you know, one piece of metal and then another and then another, and now it's we're at the stage of panels. Panels are going on the roof. First one. These are light, and I mean these are metal. We have the holes, they go down. And the pieces just kind of snapping to each other, they overlap. So they slip under there, and then they overlap here. You screw them in there. Time for that one. So in the past I've worked with shingles, not metal panels in terms of making a roof. These are certainly a lot lighter to deal with and super quick to assemble, especially since everything just fits together. So much easier, this process. Now in terms of assembling, all I'm using here is a wrench. Securing these bolts in some of these positions, and of course the holes are already created, so there is really no thinking to be done. Last little corner pieces. I mean, it's all very logical. It doesn't require too much to put this together. I suppose one nice thing about this is that if you for some reason wanted to disassemble this at some point, you could. It's not like where you're nailing shingles in or nailing a structure in where it's stuck. You can technically take everything apart again if that's what you wanted. To cap the sides, each corner of one of these pieces, and then I'm out of parts. Okay, so we have the top of the roof. Clean. New. It's not going to stay this for too long, but it looks beautiful right now. Here we have the cap piece. Just caps it on the ridge. Like that. Underneath on the inside too. Sure looks nice. So we get this pattern here from the ridges or the grooves. It looks nice.
What do you think we are going to hang there?
Maybe a light? Maybe a solar light? The instructions recommended you be 5 people to do this. I would say there were maybe 3 or 4 instances where it was practical to be 2 people. But for the most part, you can just do it by yourself. A little lifting helps sometimes, using 2x4s, stuff like that. And then we have railing here too. I guess this is like for a mosquito net or like curtains. So I think we're primarily going to use this now for 2 things. We're going to park the riding lawnmower when it's bad weather, and we're going to use it like as a, we have patio furniture close by. We're going to move the, you can eat under here, you can kind of relax under here. Not difficult to do really. Just takes a little bit of time, but I mean, what doesn't? So don't forget, if you are interested in something like this, I'm in the sun, aren't I? If you're interested in any of the Sunjoy products, make sure to use the code Darbin Orvar for a discount. That discount right there. To be honest, this is kind of what I wanted here. like an additional outdoor living room where you can come and hang out and like read and do work and not be so confined to the indoors all the time. You know, drink kombucha and that kind of thing. Like, yeah, sure, you can have dinners and you can have get-togethers, but just like you would do a coffee shop, you know? You would go somewhere, bring your stuff and get some work done. Read a book, that kind of thing. It's very comfortable out here. Of course, the shade changes depending on where the sun is. Overall, though, I would say a kit like this, very doable, not very difficult. Just, you know, follow the instructions and it will be fine. Since all the holes are more or less predetermined, I mean, there is nothing that can really go very wrong. Let me know if you have any questions, any thoughts in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. I just want to hang out here. I want to take my books out. I want to read.